Hello everyone. So in this video, we'll write our first Python program. So as you guys know that Python is a programming language and it's a very simple programming language if you are new to programming. So it's easier to start with Python rather than C++ or Java. So Python is very less verbose. The syntaxes are easy. So that's why if you are new to programming, it's better to start with Python. So let's see how we can write our first program. So the goal of this lecture is to enable you guys to write your first program. So let's see the steps that are written here. So there are some prerequisites to writing your Python programs in your system. As you can see on the screen, the first one is you should have Python installed in your system. Let's check that one first. I'm using a MacBook, so MacBooks generally have Python pre-installed. But in case you don't have, you can go to Python download link and you can see there is an option to download Python here and it has recognized that I'm using a Mac OS. In case you are using a Windows, it will recognize it and give you an option to download Python. So just a simple link and it will download the Python. As you can see here, it's one download is in progress. And for Windows also similarly, it will download an exe file. You can just run it to install the Python in your system. Once it is installed, you can check it. So just open the terminal. As you see here in the terminal, if I just write which Python 3, yes, I do have Python installed. As you can see, it has given me a path where the Python is installed. If I want to check the version of the Python 3 version. So in my system, there is 3.9.6, but you can install any of the latest ones as it's showing here by default 3.13.7. So both will do. Okay. So let's just close this one. And the second prerequisite is installing an IDE. So we are using Pycharm. Let's open Pycharm here. Just search download Pycharm. Okay, so this is created by JetBrains and this IDE is available for Mac Silicon chip, Apple Silicon chip and Intel chip, as well as you can see the Windows options are here and Linux if anybody is using. So this is just a normal software like any other application you install in your system. You can install it. For Windows people, it will download an exe file. You can just run it to install it. For Mac OS, it will install the DMG file. You just put it in your applications folder. It will install it. So that's about it for the prerequisites. So now your system is ready to write your first Python program. So let's try to open the Pycharm as I mentioned earlier. Pycharm is some place where you will write your first program. So once the Pycharm is opened, if you have the projects are already there in your system, it will show you those Python projects here that you have already opened in Pycharm. Here I have one project, so it's showing me. But in our case, we'll try to create a new project from the scratch. Just click on the new project. As you can see, it's giving me this path where it will create a new project. So the path looks okay to me, but you can give any path which you want, the path where you want to place all your Python projects. But I will rename this project to Python demo. Let's keep this option unchecked because we will see in another lecture how to create a Git repository. For interpreter, Python virtual environment is good. And the Python version that we checked in the terminal, right? So you need to give that version here. As you can see, I've given user bin Python 3 as a path. So this looks correct. So let's just create the project. So this is our Python project. Oops, what happened here? Okay, it's good. I think it zoomed in. So if I just right click here and create a new Python file, let's call it hello world. So we'll use the print statement in Python to print anything on the console. Here I'm trying to print hello world. If I just right click and run the program, as you can see in the console, hello world is printed. Just right click and run hello world. So here the hello world is like your file name. So it's not like you need to write hello world only. You can write anything you want, like Apple iPhone. You can see it's writing Apple iPhone. So you can write multiple statements, just Control C and Control V, copy paste. Apple iPhone 1, Apple iPhone 2, 3, and 4. Okay. So in case you don't want to print Apple iPhone 3, okay, but when you run the program, as you can see, it prints all the statements. So there is an option to comment out particular lines in your Python program. So in order to do that, I will just put a hash in front of that line. Now if I run the program, just right click and run hello world, you can see line number 5 is not printed here. The output is not here. But let's say I want to print iPhone 5 and 6. All these lines I don't want to print. So in order to do that, you don't need to manually one by one put hash. You can comment out lines in a group. Just give 3 quotes and close with 3 quotes. So now all these 3 lines are commented out. As you can see, iPhone 5 and 6 is the output. So these are string values and like English we are trying to write on the console, right? But you can also write digits. Let's say 45 I want to print. Let's just comment out this whole thing because we don't want to mix up the outputs. So now if I just right click and run it, you can see 45 is printed here. You can also combine this digit with a string. Let's say temperature outside is 45. So now it will combine these two outputs and print it on the console. As you can see, temperature outside is 45. So this is the use of print statement, and this is how you write your first Python program. So let's do a couple of more things. So Python can also perform the mathematical operations without any complex syntax. So let's say I want to see what is 65 minus 5. You can just write it here and run the program. It will give you the output in the console. But this doesn't look clean, right? So as we saw earlier, result of the subtraction operation is. So now this message looks readable, right? So if you just see the console, let's say you don't have access to the program itself, it looks weird, right? So let's just run it. The result of subtraction operation is 60. Okay. Okay, one more thing in Python is like you can store the outputs of mathematical operations or any kind of operations in variables. let's say I create a variable called x and I want to store the value, the result of 65 minus 5 in it. And instead of writing the mathematical operation directly in the print statement, what I will do, I will just copy out this line. So now the result is stored in x. So instead of writing the operation here, I can just use x. As simple as that, right? Okay, this looks weird. Let's not confuse anyone. So I'll just push hash here, comment out that line. Now you can see. Yeah, so this is your first Python program. As you can see, it's quite simple. So we'll touch on more important topics in the next video.